Welcome to the lecture series of Mobile Computing and Wireless Communication. I am an instructor, Ms. Alparupala. So today we are continuing with our topic, that is error control. So topics to be covered today. First of all, we will discuss about the convolution code. Then after, we will discuss about what is sliding window protocol. And then after, ARQ, that is automatic repeat request. So as we have learned in our previous lecture about error correction, that error correction is inbuilt having two basically error techniques, that is error detection first and then after error correction. So first of all, to correct the error, we need to detect it. And the error detection technique is varies. Likewise, suppose if we are talking about the content error, so at that time, Hamming code is the one of the option and the second option is convolution code. And if we talk about the flow integrity error, at that type of error, we can use the error correction technique, which is ARQ. So basically, we have already learned regarding to the Hamming code in our previous lecture, an example on Hamming code, how we can correct the error, right, at the receiver side, and we can accept the received data. So, what is the disadvantage of Hamming code? If we are having the Hamming code, then why we are moving forward to the convolution code? So for that purpose, we need to discuss about the disadvantage of Hamming code. So first disadvantage is Hamming code is a single beat correction technique. That means if we are having single beat error, then this Hamming code will be feasible. Otherwise, if we are having more than 2 bits corrupted, then at that time Hamming code is not that much of successful. It requires larger bandwidth. Why? Because we are adding extra parity bits. Other than data bits, we are having extra parity bits. So your data will be large and so the bandwidth requirement will be increased. Next, extra parity bit added to the error can delay the communication. Then after, Hamming code is a very larger block of size. So due to the larger length, the received data will take longer time for their transmission. So this all are the disadvantage of Hamming code. Even your receiver must need to wait until whole data block is received, because the calculation of Hamming code will totally depend on whole data, not only the chunks of data. So your receiver must need to wait until whole packet is received by it. So this all are the disadvantages of Hamming code. So to improve this or to have the another technique which overcomes all these disadvantages is convolution code. So basically, what is the convolution code? So first of all, we can say that in convolution code, we don't require to wait for whole the data to be received. What we are doing in this technique, we are dividing our data into smaller blocks, and that blocks are known as information frames. So basically, these information frames will be encoded and will be encoded in code words. So we can see that there will be two parts. The convolution code will be in two parts. First one is shift register and the second one is logic circuit. So in shift register, basically we are having some memory and that memory will be of the L block bit size. And as soon as the L block is completed for the calculation, we will move forward to the next L block. And this is called as shift register. And the logic circuit is we are computing on our data something kind of XOR operation. Like you can see in this diagram. Look, we are having the data which is divided into smaller blocks. That blocks are information frames. So ultimately we are having M0, M1, M2. This all are what our original data which is parted into smaller blocks. So M0, M1, M2. So what we are doing, shift register is shifting from M0, then after M1, then after M2 continuously. As soon as the calculation for M0 and M1 is completed, the shift register will shift to one more block, that is M2. Okay, and as soon as the M1 and M2 work is completed for the calculation, then it will move forward to the next block, that will be M3, and so on until you are having the data for the calculation. So what is the another advantage of having convolution code? In Hamming code, we are adding some parity bits, but in convolution code, we are not adding any parity bits. The data block by themselves, like by interleaving process, they are being calculated on the bits of that original data only, and then after the data, the original data will be sent. So ultimately, we don't require higher bandwidth because we are not adding any extra parity bits. So the second part of the convolution code was logic circuit. So here we are applying logic of XOR operation or modulo 2 addition operation. So first two blocks will be applied the XOR operation in convolution code, likewise M0 and M1. And the answer of both of them, suppose it is N1. Okay, you can see in a table that M0 and M1 combinedly by XOR operation we can get another block that is N1. Now in next time shift register will move one by one. So next time we will have N1 with N2. So ultimately we can get N2. Now next shift register will move by block 1. Then at that time N2 with M3 we can have N3. So this tree kind of structure can be made, and because of this convolution code is also known as tree code. So this is the example of convolution code. Now the next topic is ARQ, that is automatic repeat request. Basically it is used in a data link control or transport control protocol. It relies on the error detection technique, that is CRC. First of all, we will detect the error, that there is an error or not. If there is an error, then we will send the message request for the retransmission by ARQ. So particularly ARQ is closely related to the flow control also. As error control technique, it is closely related to flow control also. And it is having particularly sequence of PDUs. Likewise, packet data unit. It is a block of data in which the data will be stored, and the entity will be called as a PDU. Okay, now there can be three types of error according to the ARQ. The first one is lost PDU, that your PDU which needs to be received at the receiver side is lost. Second, damaged PDU. The PDU which is received at the receiver is having some error or corrupted data. And third one is acknowledgement lost. Suppose we are sending data from sender to receiver, and receiver has sent one message of acknowledgement that it has successfully received the packet or PDU. So that acknowledgement is lost. So we can have three different types of error in the concept of ARQ. Lost PDU, damaged PDU, and lost acknowledgement. Now next technique which we are using in ARQ, which is sliding window protocol. Now basically what is the sliding window protocol? Suppose we are having the k bit field. So we can have our data into the sequence of packets or PDUs from 0 to 2 raised to k minus 1. So for an example, if we are having 3-bit sequence, as you can see that if we are having 3-bit sequence, so from 0 to 2 raised to 3, that is 8, minus 1, that is 7. So ultimately we can have the PDU sequence from 0 to 7 if we are having 3-bit data. So you can see in diagram that we are having the bit PDU sequence number on the data block, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 0 to 7, that is our data block of 3-bit code. Then after again 0 to 7, then after again 0 to 7. If we talk about the window size, then the window size can be equals to the number of frame size or sequence size, or it can be lesser than that. Likewise, the maximum size of this window can be 7. So what we are doing with this sliding window protocol, suppose we are assuming that we are having the 7 window size window in this diagram ultimately, in which firstly at transmitter side we are having window on sequence 6 to again repeated sequence 4. Okay, sequence 6 to again repeated sequence 4. Ultimately the window will slide move from the left to right one step as soon as it will receive the acknowledgement for the PDU file. As soon as the acknowledgement of PDU file is received, the window will be shift to one block more and the data of PDU number 5 will be sent. Okay, same as at receiver side, as soon as we are getting the data frame of 5, last acknowledgement of 5, the window will slide from the left to right of one PDU size. So this is the sliding window protocol. Now sliding window protocol is particularly based on the data transmission protocol. It is the working at as OS in a OSI layer and as well as TCP layer at a data link layer. Basically acknowledgement is very much important. Now there can be basically 3 types of ARQ. First one, stop and wait ARQ. Second one, go back and ARQ. And third one, selective repeat. So if we talk about the first one, that is stop and wait ARQ. Now you can see seeing diagram that S means sender, D means destination. Okay, sender and destination. Ultimately the PDU is having sequence number PDU 0, PDU 1, PDU 2 up to PDU 7 as we have discussed for the 3-bit data. So the sender is sending data to the destination with the PDU sequence 0. And after sending one PDU, it will wait. In stop and wait protocol, what it will do, the sender will send the first PDU, then it will wait until it is getting the positive acknowledgement from the destination. So if the our 3 errors, like suppose the first error is, if the PDU is lost, so the destination will wait for some period of time. And if that on that period of time, if it is not getting any of the data, then it will send the retransmission request to the sender. Next, suppose the received data is corrupted, okay, damaged PDU. If the destination is receiving the data with the error, then it will send the negative acknowledgement to the sender. So it will send again the same data. Okay, likewise, in example, we can see that in PDU1, if the destination is sending the negative acknowledgement, then the sender will send the PDU1. Okay, and third one, suppose acknowledgement is lost. So at that time, the sender will wait for some time amount of period, and then after it will resend the data of the same PDU again, if the time collapses. So basically, what is the disadvantage of having this stop and wait protocol? We are not utilizing our available bandwidth efficiently because we are wasting our time for waiting for acknowledgement. Okay, suppose the received data due to the acknowledgement is lost, we are having the repeated data received at the destination side. So to overcome this whole problem, we can have the next type of ARQ, that is go back and ARQ. So we can see in diagram in go back and ARQ what we are doing. In go back and ARQ, we are waiting for a bulk of PDU's response clubbed into one acknowledgement. Likewise, the PDU 0 will be sent, PDU 1 will be sent, PDU 2 will be sent without waiting for acknowledgement from the sender side. So we are utilizing, or we are having the efficiently utilizing the bandwidth, available bandwidth. We are not waiting for any of the acknowledgement. Okay, we are continuously sending the PDU 0, PDU 1, PDU 2 and up to whatever your PDU number is. Okay, then after at the destination side, we are giving the acknowledgement in a bulk for a bulk of messages. Likewise, suppose we are giving the acknowledgement for 3 packets. Like packet 0, 1 and 2. 3 of them is having single acknowledgement 2. Like packet 3, 4 and 5 having single acknowledgement, that is acknowledgement 5. So our acknowledgement load will also be reduced. So this is the whole process in which, suppose we are having the negative acknowledgement. So at that time, suppose packet number 012 in which only packet number 1 is having error, we are resending 3 of them. So this is the disadvantage. Okay. Even if the packet 1 is having error, we are sending 0, 1 and 2. So we are misusing our bandwidth. So this is the disadvantage of go back and ARQ, which is resolved in selective repeat ARQ, in which you can see that only the negative acknowledgement will be sent to the sender. Suppose we are sending our data in the form of sequence 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 7. Suppose in which only the packet number 5 is having error, then we are sending packet 5 only as a repeated or resend or retransferred that packet. Okay, not remaining all the packet will be resent. So this is the best technique in ARQ, which is a selective repeat. So today we had learned regarding to the L control technique, that is convolution code, and then after we had learned regarding to the ARQ, in which we had learned sliding window protocol. So thank you. We will meet again in next lecture.